little more.
You got it?
Yeah.
Whoa!
What are the Backrooms? The Backrooms are a terrifying and endless maze of yellowish rooms, each identical to the last, filled with buzzing fluorescent lights and an eerie, almost suffocating atmosphere. It's said that if you somehow glitch out of reality, you might find yourself in this horrible limbo-like place. There's no escape, no exit, and worst of all, no one knows if anyone has ever made it out. The rooms stretch on forever, and the deeper you go, the more unsettling and dangerous the world becomes. The story. It started like any other day. Antonis was walking through his office, glancing at his phone, trying to get to the break room to grab some coffee. He stepped into the hall, then nothing. In the blink of an eye, the office around him disappeared. He rubbed his eyes, thinking it was some kind of weird trick. But when he opened them again, he was standing in a narrow hallway. The walls were covered in old, stained yellow wallpaper. The flickering fluorescent lights overhead buzzed annoyingly, casting eerie shadows on the floor. Antonis froze. This wasn't where he had been. This wasn't even anywhere he recognized. He turned back, but the hallway behind him had vanished. There were no windows, no doors, no way out. Only more of the same. Endless, yellow rooms, stretching out in every direction. His heart raced, a chill running down his spine as he stepped forward. The air felt thick, almost suffocating. Every step echoed in the silence. He could hear the buzz of the lights, growing louder and louder. It was maddening. Antonis turned down another hallway, hoping to find something, anything, different. But all he found was more of the same. The walls seemed to close in around him, and he couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching him. And then it started. Whispers. Faint at first, barely audible, but then they grew louder. They were coming from somewhere deep within the maze. Antonis' eyes darted around, but he saw nothing. Only more endless corridors. The whispers grew more urgent, more frantic. And then came the footsteps. Slow, deliberate steps, as if someone or something was following him. Panicked, Antonis broke into a run, turning down hallway after hallway. But it was as if the space was shifting, stretching. No matter how fast he ran, the walls just kept going, twisting and turning, as though mocking him. He wasn't getting any closer to an exit. The lights flickered again, and when they came back on, Antonis saw something in the distance. Dark shapes moving at the far end of the hall. The whispers were now full of growls, low and guttural. Antonis' heart pounded. He didn't dare look back, but he could hear the footsteps coming closer, faster. He ran, his breath ragged, his legs aching, but there was no end in sight. The walls seemed to be alive, changing, shifting around him. The growls grew louder, and the shadows seemed to come alive, crawling towards him like something out of a nightmare. And then, suddenly, a pair of eyes appeared in the dark, hollow, black, and gleaming with malice. Antonis' blood ran cold. The eyes stared at him, unblinking, and everything around him went silent. For a moment, he couldn't move. Then, the growls became screams. Screams that seemed to come from the walls themselves. Antonis tried to scream, but no sound escaped his lips. He ran faster, but his legs felt like lead. The eyes followed him, and the walls seemed to be closing in, tightening around him. He could feel the air grow colder, the darkness pressing in on him from every direction. Just as he thought he couldn't go on anymore, the hallway stretched one last time, and Antonis fell into a deep, dark pit. There was no bottom, no sound, just an endless, suffocating void. And then, nothing. Do the Backrooms really exist? The Backrooms may be nothing more than a terrifying urban legend, a story shared around the internet to send chills down your spine. But countless people claim to have experienced something similar, endless, unnerving spaces where time seems to lose all meaning. No one knows for sure whether these Backrooms are real or just a collective nightmare. What's more terrifying is the idea that, just like Antonis, one wrong step might be all it takes to find yourself lost forever. So, what do you think? Could the backrooms really be out there, waiting to trap the next person who slips out of reality? Or is it just another terrifying story?